As Christians, we are told to love our enemies and to generally not be discourteous to people. But some of these actions are going over the line. A church should never allow another God to be worshipped in their church. If you accept Allah as the same God of the Bible, you are in effect making him your God. By equating him with Yahweh, you have turned to that other God and away from him, the one true God and his Son Jesus Christ. This trend will probably continue as a one-world church movement continues to push its agenda into every corner of the Christian world. Early this year, Israel ceded control of the site of David's tomb to the Vatican. This site, which many consider not to be the actual tomb of David, is still an important tourist site. Israel, little by little, has been relinquishing control of many of its historical and religious sites under pressure from the UN's Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. It has given control over several sites to the Palestinians. The Cave of the Patriarchs in Hebron is one. Some of the other sites, like Rachel's tomb in Bethlehem and Joseph's tomb near Nablus, are in a gray area where Jews have limited access and the Palestinians have a certain amount of control of the sites. Part of this is due to their locations. Many of these historical sites are in Palestinian-controlled neighborhoods. Some are not, like the Mount of Olives Cemetery. It was used as a place for Jewish burial since the time of the Second Temple. The biblical prophets Zechariah, Haggai, and Malachi are buried there, as well as former Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin. The cemetery over the years has been vandalized, and there is almost no police presence there. Israel does not seem to be willing to fight for any of its contested historical sites in the quest for peace with its enemies. The only exception so far is the city of Jerusalem. Zechariah 12:2 states, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in siege both against Judah and Jerusalem." But Jerusalem is the stumbling block for peace in the Middle East. It's the one piece of its inheritance that it will not willingly barter away. A hacker group called Anonymous claims that the official White House version of bin Laden's burial are false. The evidence comes in the form of emails that the hackers culled from an intelligence gathering group called Stratfor. 2.7 million emails were taken from the Stratfor group's website. The Stratfor group is a non-governmental intelligence group founded in 1996 out of Austin, Texas. It has been referred to as the Shadow CIA by Barron's Magazine and offers a subscription service for its information. The hacked emails supposedly stated that bin Laden's body was bound for Dover, Delaware, on a CIA plane and later went to the Armed Forces Institute of Pathology in Bethesda, Maryland. Interestingly enough, the institute closed its doors on September 15, 2011, 4 months after bin Laden's death. The Stratfor group claims that some of its hacked emails were forged and altered, and would not elaborate on the validity of its stolen files. The handling of bin Laden's remains did seem a little strange. They couldn't get him buried fast enough, and they showed no pictorial evidence of bin Laden's body. We've had to take the government's word that bin Laden was dead, and of course this led to conspiratorial speculation that bin Laden had not been killed. Political correctness was the most likely cause for the strange handling of bin Laden's body. Can we know for certain that bin Laden was buried in the Arabian Sea? Probably not, but we can ascertain that he is likely 100% dead, considering the response from Al-Qaeda and the fact that the operation that located and terminated him was recorded in its entirety by the helmet cams of the Special Forces teams involved. Since the summer of 2011, mysterious sounds have been reported from around the world. Some of these noises reported are that of trumpets as well as voices in the air that cannot be understood, similar to voices from a TV where the volume is too low, to humming and traffic sounds. When these sounds occur, there is no obvious explanation as to what is making these noises. People began recording the sounds and putting them on YouTube. The most interesting sounds are the ones that sound like trumpets. Not modern-day trumpets, but ancient ram horn trumpets like those used in Bible times. The book of Revelation speaks of 7 trumpets that herald the beginning of major events during the tribulation. The first trumpet is hail and fire mixed with blood that burns 1/3 of the earth and trees, as well as all the green grass. The second trumpet is a huge fiery mountain, or something like a huge fiery mountain cast into the sea, and 1/3 of the sea is turned to blood, and 1/3 of the sea creatures die. Also, 1/3 of all ships are destroyed. The third trumpet is a star named Wormwood. It falls on 1/3 of the rivers and springs and contaminates them, and many die from the bitter waters. The fourth trumpet, 1/3 of the sun, moon, and the stars lose their light. The fifth trumpet is a star that descends to the earth with the key to the abyss. Upon opening the abyss, a swarm of locusts enters the earth. The sixth trumpet is the releasing of the 4 angels bound in the Euphrates River, and the killing of 1/3 of mankind. And the seventh trumpet is the return of Jesus Christ for his 1,000-year reign on earth. Are the trumpet sounds a warning of soon coming events? We can't say that for sure. There may be a natural or man-made reasons for these sounds, and these would be the most likely explanations. But if there's a spiritual element behind it, we can expect earth-shaking events in the near future. Reports have surfaced of a plan being drawn up by European Union foreign ministers that may lead to United States of Europe. The initial plan is to merge the powers of the 2 major presidencies of the EU. This one unelected bureaucrat would have the presidential powers of the European Council and the European Commission, thus making him the political and administrative leader of the European Union, with more powers than that of the United States President. It would be similar to Obama being president and the head of Congress. It's no secret that there are those in the European community that want a stronger hold over their nation states and would like a strengthened federal government that could dictate its will onto them, possibly even abolishing their sovereignty and putting them into a United States of Europe. The European Union, since its inception, has run into roadblocks from nations who don't go along with their objectives. This secret meeting was found out by members of the British Parliament who are concerned over the potential extreme shift of political power in the European Union. Thank you for your interest in this show, and may God bless and keep you.
The Revelation 13 podcast is hosted by Mike Hopwood and is a podcast dedicated to the study of end-time events, news events, and ancient mysteries.